Hi there, Dr. Sam Curtis here, and I am coming in with some hot new information. So I instruct NFP. I take on clients, usually most people are coming to me when they're engaged, or if they're very recently postpartum and they're looking for a way to delay or avoid pregnancy for some amount of time for whatever reason. I don't really get involved in that part of it. I just teach. So recently, thank goodness for the innovation and greatness of people younger than me, because I've been using Kindara, which is an app to track your cycles for like 6 years. So recently I had a new client come in and they were asking about Premom, and I'd heard of Premom before and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It can't hurt, an extra interpretation or whatever. So I didn't think anything about it, and then probably 3 months goes by, and then I'm working with another couple, and the wife says, you know, I've been looking at Premom, I think I'm going to use it. And so I was like, okay. So when she was telling me about it, I was like, I think I'm going to go look at it. So keep in mind that I am an instructor. I've been charting my cycles for 6 years. We've successfully avoided conception intentionally for 6 years, or 5 years, because Teddy was a surprise. But so in other words, like, I consider myself to be fairly well versed in the interpretation of the parameters of ovulation that I use. So I downloaded the Premom app, super easy to download. I do like that it actually asks for information about your cycle instead of just like, here's your fertile window, which is, it always annoyed me. Kindara doesn't do that, but like Period Tracker and a few of the other ones just kind of like randomly tell you when your period is, or when you're fertile, and it's like, that's kind of irresponsible. But so I downloaded Premom, and I won't say that I'm lazy. I just don't really use OPKs or WANFO strips until I have other signs that I'm ovulating. So I did my first test on cycle day 14, and it was very clearly negative from my own interpretation. Looked at the app, also said low, or actually it said high, but it was like on the lower side of high. And then day 16, I don't usually do this. I'm usually like a very slow ramper. So I'll be like, if I had a faint line on day 15, I probably wouldn't get a positive until like day 18, day 19. But we were out of town and I was super relaxed, and I was like, I better test. And I did, and it was positive. So looking at my test strip, I knew that it was positive. And so when I went to go take a picture, I realized that, so when I took the first picture, I put it on our countertop, and our countertop is very light colored, almost like a grayish color. And this photo I actually put right next to the toilet. We have like a little, it's like a holder for toilet paper, but it's where you would put spare toilet paper. And I put it there so it's a darker color, and I realized that it gave me a much, much, much higher readout than it would have if it had been on gray. So then I finished my business and I went over to the sink and I took the same photo of the same test less than 30 seconds later on the gray. And what I noticed was that lighting, it makes a huge difference for how the app will interpret the amount of LH on the strip. So what does that mean for you? I think that if you're trying to conceive, that Premom can be really, really helpful in helping you notice trends in your fertility. However, I still firmly would recommend, and by firmly, I mean very strongly, this is my mom face. Don't mess around. I highly recommend interpreting the strips for yourself. If you want to take photos of your test strips as you interpret them and keep them tracked in Premom, I think that's great. However, if you're looking at Premom to tell you to identify peak for you, I don't know that that's the greatest thing to do. And I definitely would say, if you look under the different settings, so there's like 3 different LH opportunities. One of them is the Premom strips. The Premom strips, the way they calculate the number associated with the strip darkness is just a direct ratio of darkness from the control line to the test line. So it's not like, it's not really giving you anything accurate. It's just a comparison of the colors. So I think what's really important is just to really pay attention to what you see on the strips. And if you see anything funky, you're obviously welcome to reach out to me and let's talk about it. I will say I did appreciate the fact that the Premom app for me wouldn't give me a peak until I had already taken another photo. So as soon as it saw the LH start to drop, it did identify peak properly. But I know, I'm telling you, that lighting thing. So if you're working third shift, or if you're working somewhere where you're using natural light, it's going to be imperative that you're using the exact same lighting all the time, or else you're going to get funky numbers. Reach out if you have any questions. I have some really exciting news coming soon about some NFP teaching, but another topic for another day. And let me know if I can do anything to help.